Yo, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone is well tonight. Just to let you know, I won't be streaming this evening, but I'm doing this video now for you so you guys can understand what to expect with Bitcoin coming into the weekend, given the week that we've had so far. So, if we zoom out, we understand the following. This is the 4-hour time frame. We've come from a very large cyclical pattern to the downside from the 4-hour time frame. We've got ourselves this M formation, which doesn't look like an M formation. Wait a sec. There we go. Mark off the pattern. Always do this, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you come to the charts. Reset, get rid of any drawings that you've got and start fresh. Okay? So you can align your mind. Yeah? We've got the M formation right here. We've got a drop. Retrace. Drop. Retrace. Another drop down here. Retrace, then a final drop going into this pattern. All right. Now, this looks like a little bit of a convoluted cycle, which is why I say to you, the cycles and the patterns are not static. This is the template. This is the structure that we are looking for. All right. Oops. Oh, God. What am I doing? You get the idea, yeah? Just, oh, wow. There we go. Happy days. This is the template, and this is what actually happens. Get into the practice of doing this, guys. Yeah? It's crazy, isn't it? It's a structure. It won't marry up completely, but you can get a good idea of where you are in terms of the cycles. Now, let's look at the actual pattern itself. You can see M formation, drop. We can assume this is level 1. We can then assume that this is level 2. And then we can assume that this is the level 3 drop to the downside peak formation. Okay? Variation. It's not always going to be the way you expect it to be. But the best way for you to understand it, all right, is whenever you get a clean pattern, when a level is formed, you want to make sure that they take out the previous high. Yeah? You want to see the high being taken out, which you can see right there is the pattern. Right? Likewise on the way down, ladies and gentlemen, same story. You're looking for the lows to be taken out cleanly. Has to clean break that range. And then going into the pattern. Right? The way these actual cycles and levels are, in essence, invalidated is if on level 1 drop, if it goes all the way down to here, violates this range, it would be deemed as a reset of the whole thing. Right? Level 1 can even form its own W formation in this area here as well. Yeah? It can do a W right there. This would be the peak, but this will be a mini W formation. And then it can go up, go into form level 2. Now, level 2, as long as level 2, ideally you're looking for level 2 to come back into level 1 and stay from this range right here, because the principle says that the market maker is going to induce traders to go short from this point, yeah? And he's able to go long from that point, and he's then looking to reverse back up. But if it goes beyond that zone and comes all the way back into the level 1 consolidation point where it last turned, it would be a reset of the level. So then you'd be still considering a level 1. Okay? So many ways that this can be translated, because we will never know if they will stick to the cycle the way we would expect it to based off the template that we use here. Okay? Now, what can we expect for Bitcoin? News plays. That's all it is right now. News, news, news. If we do get a ceasefire and everyone is happy, what we want to see is this W formation playing out and moving higher. Remember, it's a 4-hour time frame that we're basing it on. Bitcoin can actually come all the way down to here if it needs to. It would still be in line with the pattern itself. Okay? As long as it doesn't break this area here. Yeah? Now, you see, what we're witnessing here, if you go back in the streams, ladies and gentlemen, all right, you'll know that we've been expecting this for quite some time. Okay, especially from up here. Could this move to the downside form the true second leg? Because here I was expecting the same thing here. I was waiting for it here, but they weren't finished. But it still developed into a pattern. It didn't last long, but it still played out. Yeah? Bitcoin has been dropping for quite some time now, from 69, wherever it dropped from, all the way down towards 32. Right? That is a big drop, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely massive drop for Bitcoin. Is this the point where it turns? Because when you dive into the candlesticks themselves, the last attempt that they had to really break down price was here. And that was the trap. They moved down and then they swiftly came back up. Happy days. Does that mean you go long? No. I've seen many comments in the channel. People are like, this guy never tells you to go long or never tells you to go short. I'm not interested in telling you where it's going to go. I'm interested in getting you to understand it for yourself. What's the point in doing it? You're better off just going to pay for signals. And I say this all the time because I know there's a new person coming in every single time into the stream wondering, what is this madman talking about? The best way for you to understand this game is to train your eyes. Go back in the charts, find M's, find W's, find structure. Talk yourself into the speculation. Because guys, we talk about this all the time. And the reason why we talk about it all the time, because it repeats all the time. The fact that you're at the point right now where you're saying, man, this guy repeats himself all the time, tells me that you're seeing the same patterns as I am. Now, the next thing that we need to work on is getting your execution down so you can then profit from these plays. Yeah? Isn't that why you're here? Isn't that why you're in the game of trading, to understand it? You're trying to find a way to do it. You won't get an indicator. You won't get an expert advisor. You won't get no algorithm that you can draw up which will tell you when to enter, when to exit. 9 times out of 10, those sort of signals, okay, are based on hard math. All right? There's hard math and then there's the reality of things. All right? The theory says it will work, but in practice, it's a different story. We know this. Go and find yourself every book that's available out there on how to become an open heart surgeon. You've read everything that you could possibly read. You are, in theoretically speaking, you are fully qualified to practice open heart surgery. You turn up to the table and you've got this guy smiling at you just before you give him the anesthetic, and he puts his whole life in your hands because he heard that you read every article that there is out there about open heart surgery, and he's put all his faith and his whole life in your hands, and you are sweating away. You are petrified. Come on, man. You've read every article out there. So what's wrong? Why are you so, what's the story, bro? Why are you so concerned? You're very well read in the field of open heart surgery. Which then brings me on to the next thing that Dan Pena said. There is no algorithm for experience. You either understand it from your perspective, your intuition, however it is that you use, or whatever means you use to understand any chosen profession, field, work, whatever. It's all about how it's applied in real time. And the thing that I want you to take away from this, ladies and gentlemen, is this. The hybrid system itself is a concept where you just need to practice understanding what's happening in the chart. You've got the template, yeah? You've got the cycle plays. You know what they do in terms of vector candles and moves away from the mean. You see it all the time. If you pull this chart up to someone who's just a standard retail trader, would they tell you about mean reversion? Would they tell you about stop hunts? Would they tell you about stopping volume candles? Would they tell you about 3 pushes to the low, 3 pushes to the high? Would they tell you about the expansion of the EMAs? They won't tell you anything. They'll just say it's dropping. That means the sellers are in control. Just buy it when the buyers are in control. Cheers, bro. Why have I wasted so much time in my life trying to understand this indicator? And this ain't even an indicator, ladies and gentlemen. It's just EMAs. It's EMAs and candlesticks that tell me when volume is more than what it normally is. Yeah? So, coming into this weekend, the principal would say that we expect Bitcoin to move away from this zone on the assumption that this is the point that they decide to turn from. All right? 2 points that we need to be aware of. Firstly, this zone right here. 200 EMA. Bitcoin needs to cross that. Once it breaks out of that range, expect the retrace continuation. Then we've got the 800 EMA. If it can do all three, as in if it can break the 200 and the 800 EMA and solidify itself in the 48.50 zone, then that would be means for us to assume that they are preparing to get ready to make a move higher. Why? Because at this point, we would have the previous zone that they induced traders to step in at, all right, which is at 52. Okay? So at that zone, there could be a lot of guys that will go short from there, but then there's also a lot of guys that could go long from there. And when you zoom into the candlestick, you can see what happened. Big pushes to the upside. Stop hunt rise, drop. Here's something for you. I said this earlier on to the Patreons. And just for the record as well, if you are considering joining the Patreonship, please don't do it this month. You're going to get charged twice if you do. So if you were to join tomorrow on the 26th, you'll get charged again on the 1st. So please, thank you if you do decide to join it. Mad love is crazy in that Patreon. You know, the community is firing there as well. But you'll get charged twice if you join before the start of next month. Save it until the 2nd or the 3rd. That way you know you're clear. Okay? Now listen. This zone right here, when you drop down the time frame, okay, if I show you this, you'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But haven't we seen this before? When was the last time Bitcoin really made a big move up and stabilized for the whole session, Friday, and then went into the weekend and then absolutely exploded? Get the 1 hour time frame up and go back. Does that ring a bell? Does this zone here ring a bell? Because it's exactly the same thing. Does that mean it's going to happen? Well, let's just look at the logic. Ukraine, Russia, ceasefire. We're always going to have this issue with the interest rates of the US. If that's the case, ladies and gentlemen, then hopefully we hear some good news and price continues up. If this pattern is going to play out, ladies and gentlemen, then we will be expecting a very good move to the upside if it does happen. Okay? Now, mad love and respect to all of you beautiful people. All right? I thought I'd just give you the breakdown on Bitcoin. I want to thank you all for passing through to the streams every single day. If you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. It's a little bit of a mellow video tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I've had a busy day with my daughter. So, go have yourselves a wonderful evening. Mad love to you, and I will catch you on Sunday night to welcome into the market again. All right? Take care of yourself, family. Peace.